Recording in progress. I'm going to do another video about Bookhead. What are you doing? You got to climb up? Go ahead. Jump. Place. Welcome back to Bookhead. I love walking into bookstores for the first time or the 50th time and feeling that same intense feeling of anticipation, like I'm about to find something monumental. It's familiar to me now. It's something that I seek out. But it wasn't always like that. That started very quietly when I was, under 10, wandering around the Barnes & Nobles in the town where I grew up. I love Barnes & Noble. I think it's the greatest bookstore of all time. One, because I grew up on it. So there might be a little nostalgia at play in there. But also, basically, they've gone from almost dying from being too corporate to going through 4 different CEOs over 4 years. Whatever. They changed their model. They survived. They've opened, 40 or 50 stores in over last year. They've changed now to acquiring struggling or bankrupt bookstores, indie bookstores, which I think is fascinating regardless of how you feel about big giant corporations taking over the market. Because there still is a market for indie bookstores. It's like the difference between Domino's and an independently owned pizzeria. Like they can both exist. They're both doing different things, serving a different product to a different market. In a way, they aren't even really competing. Which brings me to the Palm Springs bookstore landscape. The best bookstore in Palm Springs, currently the only bookstore in Palm Springs, is wonderful. They moved, I think, within the last 6 months down a block or two to a much better, I can imagine it's a much better location for them. It's right next to this super popular restaurant called Farm. And so there's people milling around. There's tons of people. It's right in the heart of downtown, right in the plaza. Anyway, I think it's a better location for them. The bookstore is great. It has a very buttoned up feel in an indie size package. And they have a very clean aesthetic, vibrant displays, broad selection, and the staff has always been very welcoming to me. I get the feeling that it wants to be for everyone. They do things like personal staff recommendations. I take a look every time I'm in there, but I've never bought a book based on one of their recommendations, and I can't help but wonder why that might be. I spend most of my time at the classics shelf. It's probably maybe 2 feet wide by 6 feet tall, like maybe 5 shelves worth of classics and poetry. That's, for whatever reason, that's what I'm interested in. Palm Springs has a super unique demographic. Locals, transplants, snowbirds, vacationers, all call it home. There's definitely no shortage of new people coming through. And there has to be, I imagine, more people who feel the way that I do, with like interests, tastes. Also, within the Palm Springs community is a vibrant community of writers and poets, but no place that I found where their published work can be interacted with or purchased. Which brings me to the Bookhead-shaped hole in the market, a heavy emphasis on classics, poetry, local authors and poets. I see it as this fresh, new context to experience something old, something you've seen before, but now it's being presented to you in a new light. And for the person stumbling across Bookhead for the first time, maybe they get it, maybe they don't, but maybe it sticks in their head after they leave. And so that door has been opened. And I want that open door to invite a challenge, do something new. Read the book you've always wanted to read, but never thought you could. I've had that experience recently where I've just been on a tear reading books that I never thought I would or could read. Enthusiasm and passion for reading, and not only for reading, but for living the great books, is contagious. I think that everyone has a thread of curiosity running through them, no matter their age. I want Bookhead to be the place that pulls that string a little bit, unravels that curiosity. From the days that I would be wandering around the shelves at the Barnes & Nobles where I grew up, I want Bookhead to be that place for the next kid. or your inner kid or whatever might be a little lost, maybe needs to trust themselves a little more, needs a challenge, who needs space for their curiosity and imagination to run wild. Reading is an invitation to go inward, to look inward. Reading not to escape. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not the easiest thing to do. It's scary and it's hard and it takes work and it takes a daily effort. You know, however big or small, as long as it's consistent, it'll make a change. Words, words, words. I think I got to be done. Camera's about to die. All right. Signing off. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.